Storybook Brawl was nice enough to send me some dust codes, so I'm doing another giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm No Luck's Given, and today we are going to be looking at a game from a little bit of a different perspective. Normally, when I upload games to this YouTube channel, I'm trying to upload my craziest and wildest moments through my time on the ladder, though when I was playing this game, I had a slightly different perspective that I was playing with. And you'll see that we are using Jack's Giant, one of the free and less exciting heroes in the game, and that is kind of by design. Basically, this game was just tournament practice for me. I wanted to get a game under my belt with this hero that I don't play super often because for the YouTube side of things, he's not super exciting, but he can be very strong. And just that tempo helping you win those combats in the early game can definitely be good in the tournament setting. And I wanted to prepare for the tournament that was this previous weekend. So that's what we're going to be doing in this one. I go for the Genie's Wish here. I thought that that was a pretty good move just to tick down on Cindy, especially because we are so strong right now, and then we get to throw in a roll and look for a pair, and we find a few different options here, enough that I think we could even consider locking this shop to shard the unicorn next turn while also picking up the Minotaur and then picking up the treasure from Cinderella with that. So definitely a lot of options taking place in this early game, and yeah, just some really interesting maneuvers here. We're super powerful because we are playing with Jack's Giant, and that's kind of like the point of this video. I don't typically go into too much on the tournament prep side of things, but I think you'll see that this game winds up having an impact on some of those tournament games that I showed off over the past few days. And at this point, I'm going to actually sell off Cindy because now we have two different pairs, and we are just going to build towards some different tier 2 treasures at this point. Really looking for a Skip's Puzzle Rune off of either of those treasures could be good, and then we could also consider locking the Lucky in this shop. I don't think that would be horrible because we are playing down 2 units still, and for that capacity, finding a Lucky and locking onto that will be good because we might triple some more units. We might triple these Black Cats, and we might triple these Wizards Familiars, so both of those are definitely something to consider. We are going to be strong enough to win this combat. We've won all of our combats so far, and then we found the Forbidden Fruit, and we will pick up a Black Cat here on this turn. Unfortunately, we are not going to find the Skip's Puzzle Rune. This was basically the last chance to find it and activate it easily, but we're still quite powerful. We'll pick up another Forbidden Fruit, and with the Shepherd Sling and then the Jack's Giant and then all of these upgraded or /and scaling units, we've got quite a strong board here. And the question is just, how do we want to round out the board this turn? Do we want to take the Lonely Prince thinking that we are strong enough? Or do we want to take the Baby Dragon just to get a little bit stronger? And my answer is that I believe we are strong enough at this point in the game that we can pick up a Polywoggle and a Lonely Prince, both as kind of speculation targets to be stronger in our turns coming up. We're still going to have no trouble at all winning this fight with a few units left over. And from here, I'll pick up a Golden Chicken. Could also Spinning Gold a little bit. Definitely want to pick up a Princess to flip over our Frog Prince. And then from there, I mean, Crafty's a 9/9. We've already made 3 treasures. We don't really want to play the Polywoggle this turn because we can we'll be on 4.0 next turn. So that's basically what I'm thinking. Let's bench this Polywoggle, put in the Frog Prince, put in the Crafty, and just continue to play a super strong board. We're also playing such a strong board against the Ghost, so maybe it is a little bit of overkill. But next turn, we are going to go into 4.0 with a bonus gold from Spinning Gold, and then a bonus gold from, well, what is it? Spinning Gold is the treasure, then what's the name of the spell? I'm not sure, but both Spinning Golds we're going to have access to next turn. I forget the name of the spell and of the treasure right now as I'm recording this, but not a huge deal anyways. We'll hit this Pan Shadow for 3, win the Spinning Gold. That one's definitely called Spinning Gold. Then what's the treasure called? I don't know, third base. We will put some extra power on this Polywoggle on 4.0 here. That is pretty strong. And then we can also play this Wizard's Familiar in the front line here and pump some things up with this Lady of the Lake. I'm just going to try to play as strong a board as possible this turn. And I think this is the way to do it. At some point, we would really like to get a Wish Upon a Star. Jack's Giant hitting Wish Upon a Star in that 3.0 area is very good, though at this point in the game, it's a little bit awkward. We do have a kind of an interesting move we can make here that I can't remember. Okay, I thought I do consider putting in this Polywoggle instead of this backline Wizard's Familiar. The reason that we could do that is we do have this Friendly Spirit that is going to die, and if it lands on Polywoggle, that's pretty good. If it lands on Lady of the Lake, obviously that's good as well, but I'm just going to hang on to the Polywoggle for now and not worry about making that play. My opponent with double Queen of Hearts could make things a little bit trickier for us, though we are still looking quite good. Polywoggle is going to slay, and then we will be able to take out those queens. So now we've got a tier 5 unit. Not a great one, Rotten Apple Tree. I mean, it's a good one. The reason I say not a great one is because this isn't something that puts that much pressure on our opponents. It's a great card when you're behind. It doesn't really help that much when you're ahead, but I do still like it. I think there's some strong things that we can do with it, especially with Jack's Giant as our hero power. We can also pump it up a little bit more with a Lady of the Lake. We could pump it up more with the Beauty's Influence. I'll probably just go for more spinning gold here at this point, hoping that I'm strong enough. But the other thing that I can do is hope to True Love's Kiss it over the course of like the next turn or two. If I'm able to do that, then it's a level 6 unit, and those are typically pretty powerful. That will give me a little bit more of a sense of direction for the rest of this lobby, because right now I'm just playing good stuff. I'm hanging on to a pair of Polywoggles. I'm hoping to True Love's Kiss the tree. I am also going to pick up another Friendly Spirit just because that's a good unit, and you'll see that this Rotten Applewood is actually a pretty good unit for us too on this turn, so not super terrible. A bunch of things attack into it, and then it attacks correctly as well. The Rotten Apple Tree never attacked into the Chupacabra, so it did a decent job. I'm sorry for doubting you there, Rotten Apple Tree, but I still would like to potentially True Love's Kiss it. We're going to pick up another Friendly Spirit to put in front of these ladies, and definitely looking to pick up a Polywoggle in the next turn or two to be able to grab an upgraded Polywoggle. That would be really sweet. I'm also in for upgrades on a Lady or upgrades on these Friendly Spirits, so either of those things are pretty good. And I also kind of like Coin of Sharon here because we've got double Friendly Spirit that we're rocking with, so it's kind of awkward the way that all of this works out. Oh, here's where I go for the Polywoggle play. Okay, this makes a lot more sense. Now I play both Polywoggles. I thought there was a point in this game where I played double Polywoggle backline with some Friendly Spirits. So now, wherever these Friendly Spirits land, that's going to be pretty good for us. There is some part of this board that's awkward. We want the Friendly Spirits to die, but we also want to pump them up by the Lady of the Lake. However, we're just going to wind up receiving that Coin of Sharon on one of our Polywoggles, and then these Lady of the Lakes are going to be just good enough in the back line to, with the Friendly Spirit buffs, I should say. The Friendly Spirits are good enough to be pretty strong for us here. On this turn, we are definitely looking for another Polywoggle, and we do find that True Love's Kiss. So that is going to give us a Lordy, which is definitely a nice build around me card. And from here, I mean, I think XP is good. We can pick up some XP on this turn. That'll make us on 6.0 the following turn, and just make us very, very close to activating and finding some more dwarves, finding some more lordies. I think that we are in a pretty good spot here. We are going to just play both of these Polywoggles because it is 5.0, and maybe we can get some of these Friendly Spirits to land on the Polywoggles. Those are all going to go on the dwarves, and Angry is actually just going to do an incredible job. The Polywoggle ain't going to do too bad either. One of those is going to slay, but Angry just soaks up so many hits with that upgraded Lady of the Lake behind it, and then we are able to take out this Fallen Angel. Actually, it was already taken out. And now we've got some options, because now we've got a tree, which does have some synergy with Lady and also has some synergy with our hero power, right? But we also have Lordy and we've got Angry, two really powerful dwarves. At this point, I am just rolling for things that will work in either of these comps. And you do notice I roll past some Amy's there. I'm really not super interested in Amy, but Greedy I think is something I can get behind. I think that Greedy is interesting enough that I will want to play it here, and we're just going to wind up selling off of some other things so that we can play some big dwarves now and transition into that. There are a lot of things that we're still kind of like debating between where the Coin of Sharon goes, because Coin of Sharon is probably best if it can go on Ashwood Elm. So that's definitely still something that I'm thinking of here. We get the bonus from the Coin of Sharon onto the Ashwood Elm, but then we're also getting a bunch of stats on our dwarves, and awkwardly, we're going to take a bunch of damage there. We take 15. We also, Gloves of Thieving, donate an Ashwood Elm to this Loki, so that's a little bit awkward. We basically now just have to figure out, I mean, Hercules is a really good pickup, even pre-buff. We just have to figure out if we are going dwarves or if we are going trees, and another Greedy definitely pushes me a little bit more towards dwarfs rather than trees in this capacity, because I do think, especially in the earlier portions of the game, and you can debate whether or not we're still in the early game, right? Because we are on 6.0, but we're on 6.0 with some XP, just 1 XP, I believe. But that still feels a little bit early on to me. Having a Lordy, having double Greedy, I think is going to be a good way to farm the rest of the lobby. And then maybe we do still play trees, right? Like maybe we'd switch back over onto trees after all of this. The idea really just being that I want to get some more gold from Greedy before committing to a decision. Still 21 health, even if we take another 15. That was a huge number, but even if we take another 15, I'm still feeling pretty good about my situation right now, so don't hate this spot. We are going to wind up getting a little bit more bonus gold off of these Greedies, and we get a little bit through completing our Hercules treasure. Not that far through, and then we don't take out this tiger either, but 15 gold on this turn with our gold treasure, and then all of these Greedies. Definitely not too bad. I'll pick up a golden chicken here. I'm going to roll past Princess White. Don't really need that. Don't really need a Gigantify here either. Angry is definitely questionable, but here's the thing. I know I'm looking for Echo Wood, right? I'm basically looking for Echo Wood regardless of what happens this turn. So the question is, will I pick up more Ashwood Elms in the meantime, or will I pick up more Lordies? And I think if I had found the Echo Wood first, if I had found the Echo Wood before I find this Ashwood Elm, before I find this Burning Tree, then maybe there's a chance that we transition right now. But because we are unable to, we're just going to wind up picking up a pair of doublies, getting stronger for this turn, and then also casting a Falling Stars, which is a bunch of stats for Angry, and then a bunch of gold on the Greedy. And I even lock on to an additional copy of Falling Stars just to get even a little bit greedier with it, which I think is fine. We are going to wind up getting a little bit punished here for it. We are going to wind up taking 11 damage down to 10. But we've got 15 gold again, and we got pretty unlucky on that one, and now our luck is starting to pay off. We get to pick up a doubly and a deep stone mine. We've got almost no use for Potion Master's Cookbook. We have not used that other than to TLK the Lordy, I think, but otherwise that's basically been useless. And then we see another Ashwood Elm. Like I said, if we'd found the Echo Woods first, then maybe we could have rounded back into trees. I wasn't trying to make a round table pun, but it kind of like mind flooded me for a second, but we could have found our way back around to trees is what I was getting at. The fact that we do not means that we should probably just avoid trees at this point and stick on the dwarves plan. So that is what we're going to do, and that is also what I was talking about when I brought up at the beginning of this video that you might see that this game informed some of my decisions in the tournament. Dwarves are definitely not dead, and I know they are getting a little bit of a buff into the next patch. I've always said that dwarves are good when you find that early Lordy, and most of the time that early Lordy is going to come in the form of a True Love's Kiss before you hit level 6, right? That is most of the times when you'll see in these videos when I am playing dwarves. However, I still think the dwarves can work. We used it in the tournament without a single Lordy. You can go check out game 1 of day 1 for that game there, and that was pretty interesting. We've got some interesting options here too, because we could just take Phoenix Feather, and I think that that is a pretty good treasure for us. I do consider the Mimic Chest, but ultimately I think Phoenix Feather has just got to be the way to go when you're playing dwarves, because that is going to give you an absolutely massive Echo Wood. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up here. We also have a ton of gold this turn, so we are working with that because of our greedies. And then we are also able to find another Lordy. So I'm just going to rearrange some things. I'm going to feed Lady of the Lake, or actually I go for Hercules. Probably should have been Lady of the Lake, but I'm going to feed that to the Kraken, pick up a golden chicken, pick up a Lordy, and from there, I definitely want to grab Mimic Chest, and I'm going to throw in 2 rolls to round out the turn. But now we have Mimic Chest, Phoenix Feather. So at this point, I went from feeling, okay, we're playing dwarves, to absolutely fantastic, upgraded Lordy, upgraded doubly, a Tweedledum, greedies that are still doing incredible work here, farming these ghosts as we get pretty lucky. But also we've got a Mimic Chest Phoenix Feathered Echo Wood, and that is actually just going to be tough for this lobby to deal with. I'll rip off a Hi-Ho here to give my team +1/+1 and look for a Lordy. Not really super high chances of that happening here, but I figured it would be fun to potentially hit on that. I'm going to throw in another Tweedle, cutting the Greedy. I'd love to triple the Greedy at this point, or triple the Tweedle. I think that both of those are fine options. But now that we have an Echo Wood, the Tweedles are very good, because when the Tweedles resummon, they pump up the Echo Wood, and we're getting triple those stats, because those stats are going onto an Echo Wood that then gets Mimic Chest Phoenix Feathered. So very good, and I really consider this Knighthood here, and I think that it is the right play. And I think it's going to be on Echo Wood. Normally, conventional wisdom is that you don't Knighthood the Echo Wood, but I think that's going to be okay for us in this scenario. You'll also notice that I am backlining the Echo Wood just so that way it has some time to get some buffs from these Tweedles, and that is going to be really crucial for us on this combat. These Echo Woods will both re-summon, but my opponent has a bunch of stats here, so this is going to be a really close one. We take 9 going down to 1, and we're playing dwarves. Does this game seem familiar at all to y'all? Yeah, definitely some huge parallels between this one and that first game of the tournament. But now I think that just Knighthooding this Echo Wood is going to alleviate a lot of the problems that we just saw in that previous combat. 66% chance to win, and that's only going to get better now that we have a Knighthooded Echo Wood that we are also Phoenix Feather Mimic Chesting. The other option here would be to just Knighthood the Tweedle, right? And then the Tweedle resummons with double those stats, so the Echo Wood is getting those bonus stats anyways. It's very close, but ultimately I think that just getting the most stats on this Echo Wood is the best thing that I can do. And we can still find a Lordy, we can still find another Tweedle and triple this Tweedle and have this play be pretty beneficial for us. We just need to avoid attacking into that Rotten Applewood, and we do. This combat is still going to be very close, but we are going to walk away with a win. Super grateful for that one. Yeah, definitely a very close combat. 82% chance to win, but things were looking a little bit dicey, and now we are on to the finals. And this is going to take multiple battles, right? We are not going to just kill our opponent right here and right now, because we don't have the means to deal 28 damage. You can't deal 28 damage, right? That would be... Oh no, I guess you can deal 30 damage in the game. What is that? 7 times 3 is 21. No, yeah, you can deal 27 damage. So no way are we ending the combat this turn. Sorry, just losing some of my fundamentals. Wind up not picking up a greedy though, which I think would have been greedy of me despite the fact that there will be another combat in the game. And I get super rewarded for that because now I get to pick up an Echo Wood and then lock onto a Tweedle upgrade. So next turn we'll have an upgrade for the Tweedle, and then we can roll for Lordy, Doubly, Angry, Echo Wood, or if if we fail on all of those rolls, we just put the greedy back in. So definitely have a lot of options here, and we are looking quite big because we are going to have a bunch of extra just stats on all of these dwarves since the last time we played my opponent. And Staff of the Old Toad and Hand of Midas are actually both really interesting treasures to pick up and add to our board, and I think Hand of Midas might actually be it. Now we can roll for a Lordy, an Echowood, a Tweedle. All of these things are just absolutely fantastic. We're just slowly chipping away at our opponent here. Don't pick up the golden chicken, by the way, but I think that an upgraded Tweedle could be good. I also think an upgraded Doubly could be good. And then those golden chickens also a little bit tempting just to troll you. But I think at this point, I should probably just, no, I'm gonna go for it. Okay, wow, I'm gonna pick up a Doubly just to get a little bit stronger this turn. I really couldn't remember if I went for that here. I remembered that in the tournament game, I used a Hand of Midas on the Tweedle or Angry, right? So definitely just some more interesting parallels, not using that Hand of Midas on what is like the ideal target and just settling for something else, and just trying to continue to get stronger and stronger this turn to really close the gap between myself and my opponent. And then we close the gap even farther. We pick up a Lordy, and that is basically going to be the end of it. I'll go for the Stone Skin on the Tweedle just for a little bit more stats and then end things off with a roll. But I think that this is as powerful as you're going to get. I am going to rearrange my board a little bit so that Tweedle can die before the Echowood has to get into any combat scenarios here. And now I have just got some absolutely massive units all around. And yeah, definitely an interesting game, mostly because of just how many parallels there were with this game. Oh, wow. 3 health, so my opponent is still going to be battling for a second here. Well, at this point, we're just looking for a scam spell, I think. Even a Lordy or an Echowood, I don't think I would bother to take it. Yeah, I couldn't even see myself locking onto a Knighthood. Do have to consider the possibility of putting in Angry and then using that Falling Stars, but I think I'm just going to end on Luna's Grace at this point. Oh no, I don't even go for that. Okay, I guess because I had the golden chicken, I just decide that maybe we can roll a little bit more, and then I'll just end off on this Ride of the Valkyrie. It really doesn't do that much. It does do something. It gives the Tweedle +3 attack, which then gives it +6 health, so that gives my Echowoods +6 and +12 health, respectively. Maybe that could be enough. My opponent is, you know, some of these combats have been close. My opponent has a bunch of ranged units. Ultimately, I think that this is just going to be enough to get us the win here. My opponent has not added anything super crazy to their board. They just wound up casting a Candy Rain this turn rather than doing anything super impressive. So that is going to be a win. Really just thought that this game was really interesting because I used this game as my tournament prep. And my very first game in the tournament wound up playing out with so many parallels to this game. Dwarves, 1 health, Ambrosia on a non-tier 6 unit, to the point where I was even confusing some of these games in the commentary here. I'll announce too that tomorrow I'm going to do a patch notes review, and then the following day, or no, in that same day I'll also announce some of the winners for some giveaways for those dust giveaways that we've been doing, and then we probably have 1 or 2 more weeks of that. But then after that, I do have some Storybook Brawl 99 content that I want to showcase. I am going to slow trickle that content though, because there's not going to be as many Storybook Brawl 99 events coming up. And then we also have a brand new patch to play with and explore. Haven't played any games with it just yet, but I'm excited to jump into all of that. That is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace. Here's the details for my giveaway this week. Just leave a comment on any of my videos that includes the word spell. New week, new code word. And you'll be entered into a chance to win a 4,000 dust code. The reason that I say to include the word, that way I can differentiate between the people just leaving a comment and those that are actually interested in the dust, to make sure that it goes to a person that will appreciate it. And there's no limit to how many times you can enter. You can go back and comment on some of my previous videos. I've been uploading daily Storybook Brawl Brawl videos for the past 7 or 8 months at this point, so I'm sure there is some sweet content that you have yet to see. And yeah, you can enter multiple times. I will do a new code next week, and the other thing that I wanted to say is that if a bunch of people enter, I will give away more codes. So that's just going to be limited by how many people are entering and how many people are commenting. Let's get this channel to over 1,000. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Lex Given. Peace.